tutare, ture swaha. Om tare, tutare, ture swaha.
Good morning. I'm Kathianne Lewis. You are at the Center for Spiritual Living. It is absolutely fabulous to have you here. Life is good. And this gives you an idea of what we will be experiencing at CBEC for all of those of you that are going. And if you're not going, Carl has a concert on Tuesday night. Yeah. And he also has lots of CDs available in the lobby area. So take advantage of those because it just, good music makes the world go round. Well, it doesn't, but it's called something else. But anyway, we're going to sing in a minute, but I'm going to give you a few messages before we start to sing again. And what I've noticed, and I really want to acknowledge, is that it's very difficult to sing and worry. It's also very difficult to sing and fret. Were any of you fretting? Isn't it hard? I mean, you'd have to stop. Shh, quiet, I'm fretting. Oh, is that fret music? Fret. Oh, there's always one in every crowd. It's difficult to be in any other space except present when you're singing. So what we want to do at the first of every service is to become a worry-free, fret-free zone, so that when the message shows up, you're open to it. So that's why we sing a lot. But before we sing some more, I just want to acknowledge it's Old Home Week. It's like, good people are here. I'm so excited, yay! But I'm not done yet. I have things I'm supposed to do. This service is brought to you by three things. First of all, it's brought to you by your connection card that you will find in a seat back in front of you or in the offering plate as it goes by later. Please fill this out. Return it to myself or anyone with a name tag. And if you do so, you will be eligible for a free house. And since we don't believe in sin, I can lie all I want. Anyway. We're not going to give away a free house. But what we will do is put you on our virtual community list, and we send out spiritual practices, good news, other things that you might want to keep up on. So I encourage you to think about this and fill this out. Return it to me or anyone with a name tag a little bit later. The next thing that this service is brought to you by is, hello, all of your friends and family that want to know where you are on Sunday mornings. So if you are on Facebook, go ahead and sign in and let people know what you're doing. Also, if you haven't liked our Facebook page, I encourage you to do that. I love it that our education team is producing a spiritual practice every single day on Facebook, and it's all about forgiveness. And next month will be something different. And it's like, I'm getting so much information. It's good. So feel free to like us on Facebook. And the last thing that we are brought to you by is you. See, what we teach is that everyone is important, special, beloved, and the one. We're all the one. There wasn't the one. We're the one. You're the one. So if you are the one having a birthday last week or next week, we want to give you a gift and recognize you as being an important one in this universe. So we have a birthday back there and right there and right there and right there and right there. Yahoo! Great.
God is light. God is love. And that light and that love are alive here now. That light and that love is alive in our hearts right here, right now, ever brighter, ever stronger, overflowing in this community. There is light, there is love. It is alive as us, as this community. And in the power of this moment, we put our attention on that light and that love. And we allow it to enliven us, to burn away anything unlike our magnificence, that we may stand in that pure and powerful light right here and right now. And we do this together, and so it is.
Life is good. You could have that music in your car. You could listen to it more often. It's good. I am grateful that we have our power talkers back. Yay! And today, our power talk is by Cynthia Ryan. Cynthia.
Hi, thanks. When they asked me to do this talk, invited me to do this talk, gave me the opportunity to do this talk on Tuesday, I enthusiastically, like the song said, yes, and then immediately panicked when I was told I had to tell my entire life story in some spiritually inspiring way in 3 minutes or less. So I don't know if I'll stick to it. I'll do my best, but, fasten your seatbelts. Ever since I was a little kid, music was to me as necessary as food or as air. It was just part of what drove me in life. And in my 6th grade music class at my public school, they showed us the orchestra instruments. And I saw a viola, which is like a big violin. It's a stringed instrument in the orchestra. And that was it. I was gone. Hook, line, and sinker, totally in love, knew what I was going to do with my life. So one of the things to know that was happening at that time in my life was I was raised in an alcoholic family, which is, as I'm sure many of you have some experience with, a little bit nerve-wracking, a little bit stressful, chaotic, and very financially constrained. And somehow, despite this, I got the lessons. I got the instrument. I got the ability to go to those camps. So I really got what I needed such that I was able to get into music school. But also had some bumps in the road there, had to leave school twice because my parents couldn't afford to keep me there. And one of the things, and I eventually figured out how to support myself and get myself through school. One of the bumps, which was a positive bump, was that my father actually entered a treatment program during that time, and unless he's out at the bars tonight, which I highly doubt, he'll be celebrating his 34th anniversary of sobriety tomorrow. So by the time I got to my senior year of college, I had also auditioned for and won a job in New York. So I could see the finish line. I was there, I was going to get my degree, and I had a job. January, I got a call telling me that my mom, who was 46 years old at that time, was diagnosed as being terminally ill with lung cancer and had a matter of weeks to live. So in the last semester of my senior year, I spent a lot of time at home with her and the rest of my family caring for her while preparing what's the most stressful event of your music school career, which is your senior recital, which is a concert where it's just you playing. So it's a pretty high-pressure event. My mom died 6 days after my senior recital. Several weeks after that, I went to New York, only to find that the job that I had lined up was no longer there because the orchestra had lost funding and failed. I threw up my hands, I waved the white flag, I said, that's it. No more music for me. I've had it. It's too hard. The viola went in the case, and the case went in the closet and gathered dust for a number of years. Several years later, on a beautiful Sunday morning, much like today, I was at a bagel shop with my boyfriend. He had just come back from his Hawaiian vacation. He had this cool shirt, Hawaiian shirt on. And across the room, somebody said, "Hey, that's a really great shirt." And my boyfriend was all proud and said, "Yeah, thanks. I was in Hawaii." And he said, "No, not you, your girlfriend." I'm like, had to look down to, I'm not generally, this is about as dressed up as I get. I'm not generally one for appearances, so I had to look down, and what I discovered I was wearing was a plain gray sweatshirt. And on that sweatshirt was a single word, and the word was Juilliard, which is a very well-known music school. Turns out that this guy was a Juilliard grad and was a contractor, which is somebody who hired musicians for orchestras throughout the state. And he needed a viola player. So it's a good example of the hand of spirit coming in. But while I wasn't playing viola, I started a business career, which I became very serious about. I went back and got an MBA. I spent a decade or more in Silicon Valley having a very serious career in the tech industry, and was offered literally the dream job of my career here in Seattle several years ago. And after moving up here and moving my life up here, not too long after that, about a year and a half ago, I found myself in the same situation where I no longer had that dream job. And I was in crisis again. I didn't know what I was going to do with my career. I didn't have my music. And it was at that time I started doing a lot of reading and a lot of searching. And an author that I wanted to hear speak, I was looking to see if he'd be speaking anywhere in the neighborhood, and he was speaking at this place called the Center for Spiritual Living, which I had never heard of before. And the moment I opened the website, I knew I had found my home. And I came here, and I swear to God, Kathianne was writing her talks for me personally. And I found classes to help me deepen my connection with spirit, and practices like meditation and prayer. And I found a community of people like you, so many of you who have touched me and supported me. And I asked the question, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And then I had a practitioner session with Karen Ramsey. And I was talking all about my career, and she said, wouldn't you really rather be doing something like, I don't know, playing with the Seattle Symphony? Or at which point I completely broke down because she had pretty much outed me. Because truly, my heart's desire was to be the musician that I had always been. And shortly thereafter in a meditation, that was exactly the message I got, was be the musician that you are. And so since then, I started studying with a teacher who says I can do this. I've started I'm playing here in the talent show, and we'll do the angel service at the end of this month, doing the music for that. Met the executive director of the Seattle Symphony. So things have started to happen in a very quick way. But I just want to thank you all and let you know that this is the place, and you are the people who gave me back my music, and for that I'm profoundly grateful. Thank you so much.
I was thinking about how fortunate we are to have CBEC. How very, very fortunate, because those weeks go fast, and the second or third week in August is coveted. I mean, any group would like to have that week, and we've got it. We're fortunate in that respect, but we're so fortunate to just have each other. I mean, really just take a moment and breathe in the support that's in this room. People want you to do well. People want you to do well. So if you ever think that the world is against you, show up here. Because I don't know about the world, most likely you made that up. But I'm not in your shoes, I don't know, but I do know this place. And people want you to do well. How many of you have ever wondered what to tell people when they say, what kind of church do you go to? What do you do on Sundays? Anybody ever wonder? Only 5 of you. First service, everybody was wondering. God bless you. You guys have it handled. I'm going to have you do essays. You'll become, the new copywriters for our Facebook page. I was asked that yesterday. And so I got to do I know what I'm talking about? I was at a wedding, and someone who didn't know us as a group said, so what kind of church is it? And I took a deep breath. And I said, we're not so much a revelation. It's not anything new. It's a correlation of the basic teachings of religions. But it also has to work well with science and philosophy so that things fit together. We look for what's common instead of talking about what's uncommon. And a practice might be uncommon. So an uncommon thing is like, well, how do you hold your hands? I remember being in a religion where you had to pray in a certain way. You really, there's the way you do it. That could be uncommon. But what you do is common, and that's what we look for, and that's what we talk about. So Ernest Holmes said it this way: we are a correlation of the revelations of religions, the findings of science, and the opinions of philosophy applied to human needs and aspirations. Applied. It's got to be applicable. Otherwise, it's just another great talk, another great theory. It's another great thing to talk about. It's another great, I believe this and I believe that. Well, what do you believe in? Are you living it? That's what Ernest would be. What would be important to Ernest is that you prove these principles so that you live them so that your life becomes better. Our vision statement is a community of thriving people who make the world a better place. Why would we make a better place? It's a lot easier to be of assistance in the world when you're thriving, because when you're not thriving and you're struggling, you can barely take care of yourself, let alone other people. When you're not thriving, it's very difficult to be happy. And yet when you're happy, have you noticed that people catch that? We catch that atmosphere. We just make a better place because of our consciousness or because of our doing. It doesn't matter, but this is what we're about. That's what Ernest Holmes would be so happy. I know he's just like, oh yeah, nice group of people. I don't know that at all. But preachers have been making things up for hundreds of years, brothers and sisters, so let me make up a few things myself. So I just made it up that Ernest Holmes is happy with us. So there you go. Anyway, I ran across this last night when I was getting ready for today's talk, and this sort of applies, and it's not my talk, but this is like a little bonus. This is like when you go to a fancy restaurant and they bring you a little aperitif, to try out, and it's like, oh, it's a gift from the chef. This is just a gift from your minister. So there's a little thing that before the talk even begins. And this is the correlation of what religions teach and what science is teaching. Because in religions, one of the things that keeps showing up is that how you think and how you believe creates your life. Buddha, your life is the result of your past thoughts. Jesus, pray believing, and it will be done unto you. Two ideas. Now let's go for science. They're now studying placebos. This comes out of this magazine. We sell this at the bookstore. This is an older magazine, though. It might not be there anymore. But there was a research done at Harvard University where placebo pills were made available to people with irritable bowel syndrome. And so they had two groups. One group got nothing. Another group got placebo pills that were labeled placebo pills. You got to get this. They're labeled placebo pills. On the bottle, it says, placebo pills made of an inert substance that has been shown in clinical studies to produce significant improvement in the IBS syndromes through mind-body self-healing processes. That's what it says. That's what it said on there. It's a placebo. Guess what? After 3 weeks, the group taking the placebos reported twice as much symptom relief as the non-placebo group. They go on to say that it's comparable to the best real IBF drugs. So you got as much good out of the placebo, being told it would be beneficial, as you did out of the drugs. I think there's let's do conspiracy. Ladies and gentlemen, you've probably asked yourself, why doesn't everybody believe this? because late at night, drug companies sneak into our bedrooms and say things like, "It's all a lie, it's all a lie." Sometimes I'm still catching up with what I just did. I'm like, what? I feel like that part in the Matrix where the program takes over the body. Oh dear. Okay, more placebo information. And this was done in, in Quebec. And 2 groups of people were told that if they did a certain exercise, it would increase their cardiovascular well-being. But one group was told that yes, it would increase their cardiovascular well-being, but it would also make them more mentally adaptable and happy, and the endorphins would kick in and they'd feel great. Okay, this group did report, the study said yes, their heart is better, both groups, but the one that was told that would also affect their moods got better. It's, ooh. There's so much in this thing that we call our mind. It's so valuable. It's not us, but we have an opportunity to use it. We're not what we think, but we have the opportunity to choose our thoughts. And out of choosing our thoughts, we start to create our life if we choose wisely. So let's choose to forgive. Today's talk is Forgiveness 2.0. I actually have talked about forgiveness for so long. I should have done something like 295.0 because we've talked about it and we can't talk enough about it. What I'm really getting is that what we need, brothers and sisters, is more forgiveness, all the time forgiveness, constant forgiveness. Not that someone's done it to us, not that we've done it to anybody else, but that forgiveness is the tool for more love, and who wouldn't want more love? Anybody not want more love? Raise your hand now. I've had enough love. I love it. Yes. Jeff looked around. Is anybody claiming not to want love? No, we want more love. And love and marriage, love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. Not all the time. Honest. But love and forgiveness go together. And they actually feed upon each other. Love and forgiveness feed each other. And so let me define love for me. Love for me is inclusion, it's oneness, it's belonging, it's the desire for the well-being of another. Their well-being is your well-being. It's of course I want well for you. Now, it doesn't mean that you necessarily want to invite them to lunch. And I say that because sometimes in the big scheme of things, we've got such a big world, we're not going to be friends with everybody. Does that make sense? I mean, there's billions of people. I mean, how would you schedule all of them? Really? That would be stressful. So you get to choose the people you want to hang out with, most likely because those people that you're hanging out with support you and who you need to be. You get to choose that. But to want everyone's well-being, that's love. To feel like we belong together. We're in the same human race. We're in the same condition. We've got the same background. That's love. Then, the way that I define forgiveness is that it is the doorway to love. You want more love? You're going to do some forgiveness. They go together. And forgiveness, in my definition, is the giving forth of love, back to love, and acceptance. It is the new beginning. It's a starting place. It's not the end. It's the starting place. It's the doorway for something new to unfold. And then love would be the result of forgiveness, and it just circles. It's like, it's a circular thing. It's like I can't describe one without the other. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know, but they're always, chickens produce eggs and eggs produce chickens. Forgiveness produces love, love produces forgiveness. It just circles. And the result, the end result is we expand in our ability to include things and we hurt less. Take a deep breath with that one. We just hurt less. Because we were created to love, it feels good to love. And when we're not loving, it doesn't feel good. Does it? How many of you can really get juiced up on anger for very long? I mean, you can get this little spark. But I don't know about you, but if you continue on this spiritual path, that spark will start to hurt. If I can get even the slightest bit angry, and my stomach hurts almost immediately. Our systems don't like it. I'm not saying don't get angry, but you'll find that if you hold it, it will be debilitating. I think it's important to talk about forgiveness more often because in this time, it seems like the world can be brittle and callous and tender and harsh and probably needs a lot of love. So let's talk about the way to love. We could start with love, and that would lead to forgiveness, or we could start with forgiveness, and that leads to love. We'll start with love. It's kind of the more abstract place to start, but you're the second service, so you're up to it. Right? Yes. I knew it. The way to love more is to let God love you. We can love because we were first loved. If you want to love more, let God love you. Now I'm saying this is just very abstract, but it's still the way it's got to happen. How many of you can make love happen? I mean, it's like a yoga pose. Eventually you get into it. I mean, have you seen some of those yoga poses? How do they get there? How do they get out? But it can happen. But it's hard to imagine how if you're not there. It's hard to imagine how you become more loving when we have trained ourselves to protect ourselves by having picket fences around us that say, this is where I can love and I can't love here. But as we grow spiritually, we're going to want to love more, and we're going to have to love more. And to love more, we need to let more love in our life. Love, God can love us. God can love us. And when God shows up, when we ask for more God and we get more love, things shift. Love changes everything. I think I did a talk on that once. And I really discovered this. It was kind of like an accident when I was in Egypt, either my first or second time. And I was going down the Nile, and I noticed that on both sides of the Nile it was lush and green and palm trees and everything growing and just amazing agriculture. But if you got a half a mile or a mile away from the river, it was drier than anything I've ever experienced before. It was not like the deserts I know. It was deserty. Young men in Luxor who were in their late 20s and early 30s had never seen rain in their life. I got to download that one. And yet that's the way it is. It's that dry. But around the river, it's everything flourishes. Everything's thriving. So I had this epiphany as I was going down the river, and something said, so what areas of your life are dry and barren? And I realized that there was an area of my life that was dry and barren. Before I tell you what that area is, I'll lead up to it a bit. It's interesting that on Father's Day, I was speaking at the Santa Rosa Church because I'd done the talk for their ministerial graduation the day before, so I spoke on Sunday. So it's Father's Day, and in June they do forgiveness. So I had to speak on forgiveness on Father's Day. Thank you. Is appropriate. And I got to talk about how I healed my stuff with my father so that I could love my father. Not respect him. I'd always respected him. Not value what he was in my life. I'd always valued him. But to learn to love him. And I couldn't learn to love him. How do you learn to love someone? But I loved him. And I got to speak about that. And what I spoke about was being on the Nile. And on the Nile, I realized that the place that was most barren was my relationship with my father. Truly, talk about barren. I would be around him and breathe very shallow. I would be nervous going in and so excited to leave and make up reasons why I had to get out of there early. It was like going into the desert for as short a period of time as I could and then back. And so I just said, God, flow through my relationship with my father. Flow through this place. God, show up in this place. God shows up as love, or whatever you need. But the highest word, the most often used word for God is love. And nothing happened. I had my experience at Egypt, and I'm not even sure when I saw my father again. And my father hadn't changed a bit. And yet he became so cute. There was no other word for it. He was just cute. And he would give the same little slingy little comments. And I was like, oh, wow. You're genius. And so he's given them to me like he always had, and I'd become Wonder Woman. Best shot. And I remember saying, I said this to him. I said, Daddy, how is it you always know what I don't want you to talk about? And he did. But all of a sudden, it was so endearing that he was so psychic. And he'd do the same thing. He didn't change. But I also started to see the twinkle in his eye when he did it. That's love. Love changes everything. And if I go for the word forgiveness, which means I'm willing to give up my opinion so that God's opinion can show up, then forgiveness happens, because all of a sudden what had been a torn relationship, where it had been hard, shallow, non-productive, changed because of love. So I shared a affirmation with the first service. Let's see how you guys do it. I would like you to affirm this daily if you would like to have more love in your life and be more forgiving. And it's this: God, show me your love today.
God, show me your love today.
I love second service. Yes, that's very good. So I want to show you a little bit about how that happened recently, because that's my new prayers. I don't want to have a secondhand God, and I don't want to have a memory of my relationship with God. I mean, I've had plenty of miracles in my life, but it doesn't matter if I had them then. I want them now. We don't teach that heaven is in the future or was back then. Better remember it, you know. Well, you weren't happy with it then. Why should you have more now? Really, it's like today, this moment. So my affirmation now is, God, show me your love today. So on Friday, I remember when it was now, I went to Costco. And I had a list of things that I was supposed to get. Tim gave me the list. I checked it twice. I go looking for these things. Actually, it's an act of love for either one of us to go to Costco. I go to Costco, I love him. He goes to Costco, he loves me, because we hate Costco. No, we love Costco, we just don't like going there. Anyway, so one of the things on the list was kitty litter. Kitty litter at Everett Costco only came in 42-pound bag. Well, they're like this. I don't know how they got them that compact. Tiny. And they're all on the floor. Thank you. So I have to pull out this thing, lift it up, over into the thing, 42 pounds. And it's tiny. It's heavy. It's not easy. There's no handle. No grippers. Got to get your hands under it. What's that? Now, have you ever gone to Costco and had anybody come by and ask you for help? Ever? I mean, you're lucky if you even see anybody before checkout. I think they all come at night. Put things away. Okay, I am looking at this kitty litter. And this man with a Costco name tag comes by and says, "Can I put that in your basket for you?" Yes. He does. And I'm thinking, how am I going to get that out to get it in my car? Because really, then I've got to go from here. You're out here lifting up really? So I get out to my car. I open the car. I'm looking at the kitty litter. And this kid that's bringing all of those carts has all these carts. He stops the cart in front of my car and says, "If you make sure these don't roll away, I'll put the kitty litter in the back of your car for you." My God is an awesome God. It works at Costco. Honestly, I want this every day. There's a saying in the Bible that says, "I will go before you and make straight your way." How many of us search for God when we're down, when we're sick, when we feel strapped and stressed? When somebody did it to us, we hope there'll be a day we can forgive them. What if we went from glory to glory to glory to glory? So, repeat this with me. God. God. Show me your love today. Very quickly, for those of you that like steps. Because we started with love. I said it's pretty abstract. Actually, if you let God show up in your life, you're going to find yourself more forgiving. What you used to hold as something wrong with someone else, it starts to just dissolve. It dissolves. Love dissolves. And you become embracing and forgiving. And it's not a big deal. You know, I got to give you the steps. But for those of you that want steps, first of all, number 1, are you ready to stop being uncomfortable and stop hurting? Number 1. If you're not ready to stop hurting, then just go blah, blah, blah until I'm done. Actually, forgiveness is the studies, they're now studying forgiveness. And the scientific studies show that forgiveness training has been known to reduce depression, increase hopefulness, decrease anger, improve spiritual connection, and increase emotional self-confidence. Also, it's been known to help people with anxiety, depression, insomnia, high blood pressure, ulcers, migraines, backaches, heartaches, and even cancer. Oh my goodness, it's a miracle drug. Just thought I'd say that. So let's do forgiveness. If you're ready to stop hurting, say, "I'm ready to stop hurting." The second one is just really simple. I'm willing to forgive. Just be willing. I'm tired of suffering. I'm willing to forgive. And this is such a powerful thing, because it means it could be little, it could be big. My dad never wounded me. He wasn't abusive in lots of ways, but it was the little nicks that had healed, and there was scar tissue that kept my heart from opening. And then it was done. Forgiveness changes everything, because love changes everything. The next one is, Say this as often as possible. Love is healing me now. Love is healing me now. Why do you say that? Because if we are unforgiving, we're the one that needs to be healed. We're the one that needs to be made whole. It's not about them. Now, they may have pushed a button, but we're the one that's been hurt. And we're the one that needs the healing. Then the next thing is repeat often. I love you, I bless you, and I release you. I had to do this because I knew this talk was coming up. And so I went through a whole bunch of people that I thought I had grievances with. And sure enough, I could love them and bless them and release them. I was feeling good. And then my mind brought someone else. Hold up. It was someone I won't mention because we're being videoed. And it was so hard to say, I love you, to see their face in my mind and go, I love you, I bless you, I release you. It wasn't even there. I couldn't even say it with that. It was more like, sawdust, hairball, It was horrible. Oh. You know, I'm thinking that if this whole minister gig doesn't work, then I might become a stand-up comic for God. At least it would be rated R. No, R's good, isn't it? No, not R's not good. What? Okay, PG. Okay, never mind. I said R, and Graydon goes, oh, my minister doing R. That's a good one. Okay, never mind. And I say this because, it's not easy. But I had to do this. I couldn't talk about it if I didn't. So I would continually say, I love you, I bless you, I release you. I love you, I bless you, I release you. It was a lie, it was a lie, it was a lie, it was a lie. I didn't love them, I didn't bless them, and I just assumed they'd just go someplace. Now, here's the deal. The personality didn't know how to love. The personality didn't know how to bless. But that was the truth. This eternal being that decided to incarnate as Kathianne Lewis and be 5'2" and weigh only 95 pounds. That being does love and does bless. It loves. The who I am eternally loves. So by saying those things, I started getting in touch with what's eternally true of me. That part of me that doesn't see anything wrong, never was, never will be. And pretty soon, my personality caught up. And I could love them. And I did bless them. And I did release them. And it felt good. They'll probably never know. It doesn't even matter. They didn't even know they did anything. If I came to them and said, this is what you did, they'd probably go, what? It doesn't matter. I am more whole. So I invite you to practice. If you choose, you can stand up. We're going to do this 5 times. Think of someone, person, place, or thing that you would like to forgive. And I say person, place, or thing because sometimes it's a condition. Like, I don't like my work. Well, let's bless it. Or I made a decision in 04 and I've regretted it ever since. Well, then bless it. Bless that decision. And let's do our hands and get our hands involved because it helps to make it more powerful. I love you. I bless you. I release you. I love you. I bless you. I release you. I love you. I bless you. I release you. One more time. I love you. I bless you. I release you. And so it is. Let's just take a deep breath and acknowledge the goodness in this room. Why is it good? Because we're here. We're here to remember ourselves and remember our God and our connection to God. We're here to remember our source, our beginning, our middle, our end. We're here to be the place where God shows up. And I give thanks that hope is that which is in the heart, that is always urging us to look up and look beyond our current set of circumstances, no matter how good or fabulous they are, or how trying. Hope is the messenger of goodness, the sweetness of spirit. And so I give thanks that we allow ourselves to be filled with that hope, that goodness, that remembrance, and we bless our gift. The gift is important. It helps us to not only have wonderful people like Carl Anthony here and a great band, but it has all of those wonderful teachers loving and blessing and supporting our children. And all of the wonderful work that goes on here. I'm so grateful for it all and for your support to make it happen. And so we simply say together, and so it is.